On the eve of our wedding, my fiancé, Sam, suddenly brought back Lily, his childhood sweetheart and the idealized first love he had never forgotten. Without consulting me, Sam took it upon himself to let Lily move into the new home we had prepared for our marriage. He even told me that he would have to take care of Lily from now on and would not have time to prepare the wedding with me. Considerately, I reminded Sam that since he did not have time to get married, we should postpone the wedding for now. Without waiting for Sam's response, I went to Sam's immediate superior, retrieved my marriage application with Sam, tore it to pieces, and threw it into a filthy sewage ditch. I had already suffered enough from loving Sam in my previous life. In this life, I would never marry Sam again. Later, Sam came to me of his own accord and asked to marry me, but I merely told him calmly that I was getting married, and the groom was Sam's immediate superior. Chapter 1. Diana. I'm afraid I won't be able to prepare the wedding with you anymore. Given Lily's current condition, she needs me by her side every moment of the day, so you'll have to handle the wedding preparations by yourself. 1 second. I had still been struggling in the icy river water, experiencing despair and death. The next second, I heard Sam's voice. I looked at Sam blankly, and it was not until Sam repeated himself that I finally reacted. I had been reborn. I had been reborn to the moment when Sam came to discuss having me prepare the wedding alone because he needed to take care of his childhood sweetheart, Lily. In my previous life, Sam brought Lily back half a month before our wedding. Without asking me, he settled Lily in our marital home, and only afterward came to discuss her accommodation with me. He said it was a discussion, but he had already made the decision. He had merely come to inform me. Sam said Lily had gone through something too shameful to speak of and was suffering from a severe psychological disorder. Only he could soothe her. Sam said he owed Lily's family a debt of gratitude, so in order to repay them, he had to help Lily recover. In my previous life, I loved Sam and believed every word he said without the slightest doubt. My sympathy immediately overflowed, and I agreed to take care of Lily with Sam and help her recover. Lily could not be apart from Sam. She needed his company every second of the day. I prepared my wedding with Sam all by myself. On the day of the ceremony, Lily suddenly suffered an episode and fainted at the venue. Sam, the groom, abandoned me and hurriedly rushed Lily to the hospital in his arms. After Sam and Lily left, they never returned, leaving me alone to force a smile in front of the guests. I struggled alone to finish the wedding. At first, I thought Lily fainting at my wedding with Sam was merely a coincidence. I never imagined that Lily's episodes would become more and more frequent afterward, in ways that grew increasingly unbelievable. She would suddenly suffer an episode while Sam and I were consummating our marriage, collapsing unconscious outside our bedroom door. Every few nights, she would call Sam away because she was afraid, making him leave me, his wife, behind to keep her company. Sam spent both his salary and my savings on Lily, his childhood sweetheart. He devoted himself completely to attending to Lily's every need, without caring about me, his wife, at all. I was miserable inside, but because I loved Sam, I endured it all silently. I always thought that once Lily's illness was cured, Sam and I would return to the loving and sweet relationship we once had. But I could not have been more wrong. 2 years after marrying Sam, I became pregnant. When I was 3 months pregnant, Lily pretended to be having an episode and pushed me down from the attic. I lost my child, and my husband had no time to comfort me. Instead, he stayed by Lily's side the entire time while she was supposedly having her episode. I could not understand why Sam could be so cruel and heartless toward me, until Lily later told me the truth. Lily said that she and Sam had been childhood sweethearts and lovers, and that they had only separated because of various circumstances. Now, their old feelings had been rekindled, and they were preparing to be together. Lily said she had never been ill at all. She had pretended the entire time in order to keep Sam by her side. It struck me like a bolt from the blue. I could not accept such a thing. So I went to Sam, told him that Lily had been faking her illness, and made him choose. I demanded that he send Lily away. Sam refused. Because of this, Lily staged a suicide attempt and framed me, accusing me of ruining her reputation. Sam chose to believe Lily. He thought I was the culprit who had driven Lily to suicide. He said my thoughts were filthy and that I was unworthy of being his wife. In order to protect Lily from being bullied by me, He heartlessly sent me to the countryside to reflect on my mistakes. The heavy farm labor weighed on me until I could barely breathe. And every day, I also had to face all sorts of deliberate harassment and bullying. In the end, on a freezing winter night, I lost my footing and fell into the icy river, never getting the chance to see the sun rise again. Chapter 2. After confirming that I had been given another chance, I did not agree to take full responsibility for the wedding preparations as I had in my previous life. Instead, I said to him, "I've been rather busy with work lately. I don't have time to prepare the wedding." Sam froze for a moment before saying, "Then what are we going to do about our wedding?" In my previous life, I had failed to see through the man before me. I thought he loved me the way I loved him. Because of that so-called love, I wove a beautiful fairy tale for myself, became deeply trapped in it, and took complete responsibility for the wedding. Sam did not put a single ounce of effort into it from beginning to end. I had been too stupid in my previous life, throwing away my own life for love. Since I had been given another chance in this life, I would settle every single score with him, one by one. The first thing, of course, was to break off my engagement to Sam. Naturally, the wedding would never take place. I said calmly, "If there's really no other way, then let's postpone the wedding." Postpone it? Sam looked at me in disbelief. He knew perfectly well how much I wanted to marry him. Before Lily arrived, I had looked forward to marrying him and becoming his wife as eagerly as someone counting the stars and waiting for the moon. Now that I had actually taken the initiative to suggest postponing the wedding, Sam was extremely surprised. He asked tentatively, "Diana, are you angry?" "No, I'm not angry." Sam did not believe me. He was convinced that I was angry because he was taking care of Lily. Unexpectedly, he even explained himself to me. "Diana, I owe Lily's family too much. I have to help her. Everything I do for her is only to repay my debt of gratitude. The person I love is you." In my previous life, I believed Sam's lies, and that was why I lost my life. Having been given another chance, his words could no longer stir the slightest emotion in me. I merely reminded him understandingly, "I know you're kind-hearted. I know you're only helping Comrade Lily to repay a debt of gratitude. Since Comrade Lily is ill and will have an episode whenever she's apart from you, you should hurry back and take care of her, so that no accident occurs." Sam still wanted to explain, but I pushed him out. I suddenly remembered that I need to go to my workplace. He opened his mouth, but in the end, he had no choice but to leave. After driving Sam away, I headed straight for the military unit where Sam served. My marriage report with Sam had already been submitted a week ago. I had to find a way to retrieve and destroy that marriage report. In this life, I would not marry Sam. The process of retrieving the marriage report was extremely nerve-wracking. I found the staff member to whom I had originally submitted the report and used the excuse that some of the information had been filled out incorrectly, asking her to help me retrieve it. The staff member told me that the marriage report had long since been handed over to Sam's immediate superior, the commanding officer. Based on the timing, the commanding officer should already have approved our marriage report. Hearing that, I broke out in a cold sweat. A marriage application involving a serviceman was no trivial matter. It was legally protected. If my marriage report with Sam had been approved, then I would have no ability to change the outcome of marrying him. Shamelessly, I said every pleasant word I could think of to the staff member, stopping just short of kneeling before her. The staff member agreed to ask around for me and see whether it could still be retrieved, while the staff member went to make inquiries on my behalf. I was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. After waiting for about half an hour, the staff member finally appeared. She handed me the marriage report I had submitted. After thanking her profusely, I quickly left. On my way back, I found an empty spot, tore the marriage report into shreds, and threw it into a filthy sewage ditch. With the matter of the marriage report settled for the time being, the next thing I needed to prepare for was making a clean break with Sam. Chapter 3. I then hurried nonstop to the marital home Sam and I were supposed to share. When I pushed open the door, I did not see anyone in the living room. I strode straight to the master bedroom and pushed open the door. At a glance, I saw someone lying on the wedding bed in the master bedroom. Needless to say, it was Lily. The house where Sam and I were going to live after getting married had been allocated by the military unit, but I had bought everything for the wedding. I remembered that in my previous life, Sam had brought Lily back and directly moved her into our marital home. Lily shamelessly used every single thing I had prepared for my marriage. She had even used the wedding bed and wedding quilt meant for Sam and me without saying a word to me first. In my previous life, when Sam arranged for Lily to move into our marital home, he had told me very clearly that Lily would stay in the guest room and would not touch anything in the master bedroom. Although I was not very happy about an outsider moving into our marital home before we did. When I thought about Lily's poor health and pitiful background, I suppressed my displeasure. The first time I met Lily, I specially went out and bought 2 pounds of pork ribs, made pork rib soup, and carried it over to visit her. But when I arrived at the marital home, I actually saw Lily lying on the wedding bed in the master bedroom that belonged to Sam and me as if it were only natural. The shock I felt at the time was impossible to describe. I was trembling all over with anger as I demanded to know why she was lying on our wedding bed. Lily did not answer my question. Instead, she pretended to be frightened, suffered an episode, and started foaming at the mouth, dirtying all the bedding I had prepared for my marriage. And when Sam arrived shortly afterward, the first thing he did was immediately take her in his arms and comfort her. He even blamed Lily's so-called episode on me, saying it had been caused by my frightening her. In my previous life, I never imagined that Lily had done all of this deliberately. Now that I had been given another chance, I wanted to see exactly how she intended to put on her performance. Hearing the sound of the door being pushed open, Lily, who was lying on the bed, immediately sat up. She calmly met my gaze. In this life, because I was already mentally prepared for my previous life, I was neither angry nor furious. I simply looked at Lily very calmly. I clearly saw the vicious mockery that flashed through Lily's eyes. Who are you? Who allowed you to sleep in my wedding bed, just as I had in my previous life? I questioned her. Before I even finished speaking, Lily immediately clutched her chest and began foaming at the mouth. In my previous life, seeing her foam at the mouth had given me a terrible fright. As a doctor, I had anxiously rushed to give her emergency treatment. In this life, I also rushed over quickly, but not to save Lily. Instead, I grabbed Lily by the hair and yanked her heavily off the bed. Chapter 4. When Lily saw me rush over so quickly, she thought I was going to treat her. She had no defenses against me and continued foaming at the mouth. It was not until I grabbed her by the hair, dragged her off the bed, and slammed her hard into the cabinet that she realized what I intended to do. Lily let out an agonized wail. She dropped the act and tried to fight back, but she had already miscalculated one step and was completely at a disadvantage. The hatred I carried from being framed in my previous life made me grip her hair and smash her against the cabinet again and again with all my strength. Lily was shorter than me and was completely passive. After being slammed into it a few times, she was already too disoriented to know what was happening. She let out cries of pain and desperately scratched at me. My hand was inevitably scratched, but I had no intention of letting go. The suffering I had endured after being framed and schemed against by her in my previous life was not something that could disappear so easily. I continued striking ruthlessly, again and again. In the end, I knocked Lily unconscious. Only after seeing that Lily had truly fainted did I finally let go. Lily collapsed limply onto the floor. Looking at her unconscious form, I let out a cold laugh. I stepped forward and quickly stripped all of Lily's clothes off. Then I went outside and shouted loudly, "Someone come quickly! There's someone in my house having an episode and harming herself." Hearing my cries, quite a few neighbors poured in from all directions. The completely naked Lily was urgently carried downstairs and taken to the hospital. I went to the hospital as well. Along the way, I vividly told the people taking Lily there all about how her episode had happened. When I opened the door, I saw her lying naked on the bed in the master bedroom, foaming at the mouth and repeatedly smashing her head against the wall. I heard from Sam that there is something wrong with her mind and that she has been receiving treatment all along. I had merely embellished the situation Sam had told me about just a tiny bit, then told it to the neighbors who wanted to know the truth. When everyone heard that Lily, an unmarried woman, had been arranged by Sam to live in the marital home we had prepared for our wedding, and that she had even been lying naked on our wedding bed, the way they looked at me changed. I could sense that they were looking at me as though I were an idiot. I knew that my embellishment had already taken effect. In my previous life, I had not made a big deal out of Lily living in the marital home Sam and I shared, so no one had known that such a thing had happened. Now, I had brought the matter out into the open. Sam's precious little childhood sweetheart had been lying naked on the wedding bed Sam and I had prepared for our marriage. What kind of situation was that? I knew that in less than 2 hours, this matter would spread throughout the entire area within a 10-kilometer radius, and there would be different embellished versions of the story. In any case, every version would be juicy and scandalous. After all, what respectable person would lie naked on someone else's wedding bed? The one they had prepared for their marriage? And what person about to get married would suddenly bring another young woman to live in their marital home? The matter between Lily and Sam would soon become everyone's favorite gossip during their spare time. However, this was only the first step. After all, I needed to get back all the suffering I had endured in my previous life, with interest added on top. Chapter 5. When Sam received the news and rushed to the hospital, Lily was still unconscious. The moment he saw me, he roared at me. What happened? Lily was perfectly fine. So why did she end up unconscious and sent to the hospital? Comrade Lily may have suffered an episode. When I went there, she was completely naked and smashing her head against the cabinet. She was foaming at the mouth. And then she even attacked me. I raised my hand, which Lily had scratched, for Sam to see. Seeing her like that scared me half to death. I hurried over to stop her, but she refused to listen. Look at what she did to my hand. Sam stared at my scratched hand in shock. She harmed herself during an episode and even attacked you? That's right. Her episode was terrifying. She was naked. She harmed herself. And she even attacked me. I was scared to death. Before I could finish speaking, Lily woke up. She began shouting and screaming inside. Worried about Lily, Sam immediately rushed in to see what was going on. I heard Lily tearfully complain to Sam that I had beaten her. Originally, she had wanted to teach me a lesson right from the start, but she never expected to miscalculate and become the one who got beaten, losing all dignity in the process. Lily's fury was easy to imagine. She wept miserably as she tattled on me to Sam, saying that I had stormed in and beaten her without distinguishing right from wrong, saying that I was too vicious, and saying that I wanted to kill her. Everything she said was true, but Sam did not believe her. After all, I was famously good-tempered. Why would I beat her for no reason? Sam had always believed that Lily was truly ill, so he thought everything she said was a hallucination caused by her episode. Sam merely comforted Lily gently, trying to calm her down. Lily continued crying and making a scene. In the end, Sam had no choice but to promise that he would punish me, the person who had assaulted her. Only then did she finally settle down. Having seen enough of the show, I did not linger at the hospital and went straight back to my dormitory. The incident involving Lily had caused a huge commotion. All along the way, people kept asking me what had happened. Every time I encountered someone, I explained it all over again, vigorously spreading the story about Sam and Lily. By the time Sam managed to spare time from the hospital to come find me, he discovered that everyone was looking at him differently. He still had not realized that something was wrong. Astonishingly, the first thing he thought of was still Lily. Lily is only like this because of her illness. Diana, please be more understanding and don't lower yourself to argue with her. How could I possibly hold anything against a patient? It's just that her condition seems extremely serious. She has violent and self-harming tendencies. As a doctor, I suggest that she be sent for a thorough examination. Where should she be sent for an examination? Sam asked in return. How about sending her to a psychiatric center for an examination? Naturally, Sam did not agree. She isn't mentally ill. She was simply harmed before and is suffering from the aftereffects. Is that so? It would be best if she isn't mentally ill. It's mainly because everything that just happened was far too terrifying. I'm worried that something like this will happen again in the future. I had to lay the groundwork in advance. After all, how could teaching Lily a lesson only once possibly be enough? In my previous life, I had been tormented for an entire 3 months before falling into the river and drowning. No matter what, I had to make her repay the torment I had suffered. Seeing that I was emotionally stable and had not fought or argued with him, Sam actually made an unreasonable request of me. Diana, when Lily has an episode, she can't distinguish what is happening. She remains convinced that you attacked her. Her emotions are extremely unstable right now. How about you go apologize to her, admit your mistake, and help soothe her emotions? Chapter 6. I stared fixedly at Sam. My gaze made him feel somewhat guilty. and he actually avoided my eyes. Diana, consider it a favor to me and endure this grievance. From now on, once we're husband and wife. I felt disgusted listening to him and interrupted Sam. Fine. It's just an apology, isn't it? I'll go apologize to her. Seeing me agree so readily, Sam breathed a sigh of relief, then continued, Diana, well, Lily is not very mentally stable right now. She might say hurtful things to you, or make some humiliating demands of you if she goes too far. For my sake, please endure it for now. I'm begging you. I looked at Sam's guilt-stricken face. My heart as cold as ice. For having fallen in love with a creature like this, I really had not died unjustly in my previous life. Had I? Since his affection and loyalty toward Lily ran so deep, how could I possibly separate them? No matter what, I had to make sure the scumbag couple stayed bound together for good. I agreed to go to the hospital and apologize to Lily, and I requested that Sam accompany me. Sam followed me to the entrance of the hospital, but then he was called away on an emergency mission. Before leaving, he still did not forget to repeatedly urge me, Diana, you absolutely must endure it. You absolutely cannot provoke Lily. I obediently agreed. After watching Sam disappear from sight, I quickly entered the hospital building. In the ward, Lily was sitting alone against the headboard, her head tightly wrapped in bandages. Hearing the door open, she turned her head and looked over. When she saw clearly that it was me, Lily's eyes were filled with hatred. She viciously called my name. Diana, you're finally here. I shut the door behind me and walked toward Lily. Sam asked me to come apologize to you. How do you want me to apologize? Lily looked at me venomously. Diana, why did you hit me? Didn't you deserve to be hit? I looked down at her from above. You entered the master bedroom of my marital home without permission, and even took it upon yourself to lie on my wedding bed and use the things I prepared for my marriage. I only hit you to remind you to learn some basic manners. You, Lily trembled with rage at my words. Diana, you bitch. I'm not letting this go today. Let me tell you, if you want me to forgive you, you have to kneel down and apologize to me. All I have to do is kneel down? I asked with a smile. Lily thought she had found my weak spot. Of course that's not all. Besides kneeling down, you also have to. Before Lily could finish stating her demands, I interrupted her. Enough. I've already heard all about you from Sam. He said you're ill, and that your particular illness can only be soothed by Sam. I've studied medicine myself, so why have I never heard of an illness like yours? Are you sure you're not faking an illness as an excuse to steal my man? Having her true intentions exposed by me, Lily's expression instantly stiffened. Her pretense of being ill had been so secretive. How could I possibly have guessed it? I stared straight at her without blinking and dropped another bombshell. I know you want to seduce Sam. You saw that Sam had been promoted and wanted to marry him, so you came up with this excuse of pretending to be ill in order to get close to him. Sam may be stupid enough to believe you, but I'm not so easy to fool. Do you know how I'm going to deal with something disgusting like you? Chapter 7. Lily did not know how I intended to deal with her. She was still in shock that I had discovered she was pretending to be ill. As soon as I finished speaking, I strode over, grabbed her hair in one hand, and slapped her across the face repeatedly with a resounding series of blows. Lily had always assumed that I had come to apologize to her. Never in her wildest dreams had she imagined that, after finding out she was faking her illness, I had actually come to beat her again. I slapped Lily back and forth more than a dozen times at an extremely fast pace, then dragged her off the bed and kicked her viciously several more times. Lily's face twisted in pain. She screamed hoarsely, "Someone come! Help! Diana is beating me!" I kicked her hard several more times. When I heard footsteps coming from the hallway, I stopped at just the right moment and quickly ran out of the ward. I ran straight into the nurse who had heard Lily calling for help. Quick! The patient is having another episode. She's started harming herself again, and she even attacked me. When I rushed out of the ward, I had torn off the buttons on my clothes and pulled apart the hair tie holding my hair up. My hair was disheveled, and my clothes were torn. No matter how anyone looked at me, I appeared to have been attacked. The nurse knew me. "Doctor, are you all right?" She hit me several times. Luckily, I ran fast enough. "Hurry and give her a sedative." No one believed that I would have come to attack Lily. A patient. Several nurses swarmed forward, restrained the wailing and screaming Lily, and injected her with a sedative. Lily stopped moving and fell asleep. The nurses all breathed a sigh of relief. Diana, why did this patient attack you? One of the nurses asked me. I don't know either. My fiancé said she was ill and needed to be soothed, so he asked me to come apologize to her and admit my mistake. Why did you have to apologize and admit your mistake? She kept insisting that I had beaten her and refused to admit that she had been harming herself and attacking others. She demanded that my fiancé make me kneel down and apologize to her, or else she would kill herself. What? What kind of illness is that? Why have I never heard of it? I don't know either, so I came to apologize to her as my fiancé told me to. Just as I was preparing to kneel down before her, she suddenly went berserk. She scared me to death. That's far too terrifying. Why does she only go berserk at you? Another nurse asked curiously. I sighed, a troubled expression appearing on my face. I'm only telling you this. You absolutely must not spread it around. The nurses all nodded and agreed. I lowered my voice. When she went berserk just now, she said that she and my fiancé used to be boyfriend and girlfriend. They were preparing to get married. But then an accident happened, forcing them to separate. After that, she was abused by her husband, and my fiancé felt sorry for her, so he brought her here to take care of her. The nurses first widened their eyes. Then the way they looked at me quickly became filled with sympathy. After all, my fiancé had brought his ex-girlfriend here to take care of her. This ex-girlfriend only attacked me, his fiancé, and even though it was not my fault, my fiancé still made me come apologize to her. I really was unbearably pathetic. Under the sympathetic gazes of the young nurses, I left the hospital. They said that 3 women were enough to make a drama. From this point onward, the matter between Sam and Lily would be endlessly magnified. When Sam returned, what awaited him would be a very, very big surprise. Chapter 8. Sam returned 3 days later. Without even taking a moment to catch his breath after returning, he hurried to the hospital to visit Lily. Lily's face was still swollen like a pig's head. The moment she saw Sam, she once again began tearfully complaining that I had beaten her. At first, Sam did not believe Lily's words, but then Lily told him, Diana is going around everywhere spreading rumors that you and I have an improper relationship. Now, even the nurses giving me 4 fluids are gossiping about me, saying that I'm an adulteress who is ruining your relationship with Diana. It's too humiliating. I can't go on living like this. Seeing Lily threatening to kill herself, Sam's heart ached for her to the extreme. He did not quite believe Lily's words, but Lily told her story with such vivid emotion. Moreover, when he had come over, the expressions of the doctors and nurses he encountered in the corridor had seemed rather strange when they saw him. Sam could not help beginning to believe Lily. He had to find Diana and get a clear explanation from her. With this thought in mind, Sam hurried straight to the doctor's office to find Diana. When Sam pushed open the door, I was examining a patient. He barged in with a gloomy expression on his face. I looked surprised. You're back? I have something to say to you. Say what? Can't you see I'm busy? Whatever it is, wait until I get off work. My tone was extremely unfriendly. All along, I had always been very gentle and compliant toward Sam. I had never once spoken harshly to him. Now that I was suddenly speaking to him so coldly and fiercely, how could Sam possibly be used to it? Diana, I asked you to go apologize to Lily. What exactly did you do? Sam demanded aggressively. I sneered as well. Apologize for what? I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I apologize? Didn't you agree to do it? Why did you change your mind? Why did you bully Lily? You beat Lily's face until it became completely swollen. I immediately raised my voice. Sam, what exactly do you mean by that? You're going too far. You brought a strange woman home to live in our marital home and let her bully me. And now you want me to apologize to her? What the hell do I have to apologize for? As I shouted, Sam's face turned livid. So what Lily said was actually true. You really have been spreading rumors about us outside? Diana, you've truly disappointed me. Disappointed? You have the nerve to talk about being disappointed? I'm the one who should be disappointed, shouldn't I? Without even saying a word to me, you brought your former girlfriend home and moved her into the house we're supposed to live in after getting married. humiliating me. You even allowed your ex-girlfriend to attack me. I haven't even confronted you about it yet. Let me ask you, Sam, what exactly is your relationship with Lily? Did the two of you date in the past? Were the two of you preparing to get married? Chapter 9. I pressed him relentlessly, and Sam's face turned as black as the bottom of a pot. With me making such a scene in front of so many people, how was he supposed to save face? Seeing that the patient was still looking at the two of us with an eager expression, enjoying the drama, he flew into a rage from embarrassment, shoved the patient out, and slammed the door shut. I was not the only one losing face by shouting in public like this. With a dark expression, Sam drove all the patients out. After shutting the door, he sternly reprimanded me. So all those rumors outside were your doing? Diana, you've disappointed me too much. You must give me an explanation for this, or don't blame me for what happens next. I raised my voice. Sam, what are you going to do? Are you going to break up with me for Lily's sake? That's right. If you don't explain this clearly, then our marriage is off. As soon as Sam's threatening words fell, I raised my hand and slapped him across the face. With a sharp smack, 5 distinct finger marks appeared on Sam's face. He froze, never imagining in his wildest dreams that I would hit him. After slapping him once, I swung my other hand over as well, preparing to make it an even pair. Sam came back to his senses and immediately blocked me. Taking advantage of the moment, he grabbed my hand. I felt somewhat regretful that the slap had failed to land on his face. Being questioned and slapped by someone as obedient as me made Sam furious beyond measure. He angrily demanded, Diana, have you gone crazy? Of course. I did not answer. Instead, the moment Sam grabbed me, I suddenly raised my leg and kicked him directly between the legs. Sam was still stunned by my sudden outburst. My kick struck him squarely, and his face instantly turned green. The pain made him let go of my hand. I covered my head, screamed miserably, pulled open the door, and ran outside. He's hitting me! Help! Sam is hitting me! Chapter 10. As I shouted loudly, I darted through the corridor as quickly as a rabbit and soon disappeared without a trace. With a livid face, Sam endured the piercing pain between his legs and limped out of the doctor's office. A crowd had already gathered in the corridor outside after hearing the commotion, and they were discussing it animatedly. How could he hit someone? That's completely outrageous. Exactly. He actually hit a woman. Diana is such a good person. How could he bring himself to do that? I heard he attacked Diana because of another woman. That's right. I heard he even brought that other woman to live in the marital home he prepared with Diana. That woman even slept in their wedding bed. Then she pretended to be crazy, attacked Diana, and forced her to apologize. That's outrageous. It's simply disgraceful and immoral. You don't know? That woman is also in the hospital right now. Last time Diana went to apologize to her, she even attacked Diana. If we hadn't arrived quickly, Diana might have been in grave danger. The voices of discussion reached Sam's ears, making him even angrier. He roared gruffly, "What are you all standing around for? Move aside!" The crowd scattered in all directions. Sam felt a lump of rage stuck in his chest. Unable to rise or fall, he could not understand why I had suddenly become like this, questioning him so sharply and even hitting him. Everyone said that when hitting someone, you should never hit their face. Not only had I slapped him across the face, I had even attacked the most important part of his body. The more Sam thought about it, the angrier he became. Meanwhile, Lily, who was in her ward, heard the noise and came out to see what was happening. She had only heard people say that Sam had hit me and did not know the details. Hearing that Sam had hit me made Lily overjoyed. She quickly walked through the crowd towards Sam and asked with concern, "Sam, you..." Seeing Lily approach Sam coyly with her swollen face, the people around them all made disdainful clicking sounds. "So this is the other woman? Of course it is. Listen to how intimately she calls him. She's already getting all touchy-feely with him in front of so many people. Imagine what they do when no one is around." Hearing the discussions, Lily's movements stiffened. Meanwhile, Sam was both ashamed and furious. Damn it, how had these rumors become more and more outrageous the further they spread? He had to find Diana and talk to her properly, making her clarify these baseless rumors. Otherwise, if this became a bigger scandal, it could affect his career prospects. Chapter 11. After running out of the hospital, I found a place to hide first. I knew Sam would come looking for me. He must have heard those rumors. They said rumors could kill, and Sam would never allow a stain to appear on his reputation. After all, he wanted to become an officer. He wanted to climb higher. In my previous life, Lily framed me, claiming that I had slandered her by saying she and Sam had an improper relationship. She staged a suicide attempt and blew the entire matter into a huge scandal. In order to quell public opinion, Sam could not bear to send Lily away. So he actually dealt ruthlessly with me, the woman who shared his bed. Sam pushed all the blame onto me, making everyone believe that I had fabricated everything out of thin air and that I had filthy thoughts and had framed the two of them. In the end, the organization summoned me for questioning and suspended me from my duties, afraid that having a wife with a stained reputation would affect his promotion. Sam took the initiative to sacrifice me in the name of righteousness and sent me to the countryside to suffer. In this life, Sam already knew that the rumors raging outside were extremely disadvantageous to him. Under such circumstances, in order not to affect his chances of becoming an officer, the first thing Sam would think of would certainly be sacrificing me again to clear his name. He would definitely search everywhere for me and think of every possible way to persuade me to clear his name. But how could I possibly fall in the same place twice? I would never let Sam find me. After being reborn, I had not forgotten anything I experienced in my previous life. I would take revenge for every grudge and repay every resentment. I would never let the instigators, Sam and Lily, off the hook. Only by making them taste all the suffering I endured in my previous life would things be fair. Therefore, I could not let Sam find me now. I had to hide well and wait for the right opportunity to give them a grand gift. Sam searched for me outside for a long time, questioned everyone who knew me, and even went to the dormitory where I lived to look for me. But even after it grew dark, he still could not find me. He waited outside my dormitory until after 10 o'clock, but I did not return. Then Sam thought of our marital home. His instincts told him that I had returned there to hide. Therefore, he hurried non-stop to the marital home. From some distance away, he could already see that the lights in the windows of the marital home were on. Certain that I was inside, Sam angrily pushed open the door. Diana, you. Chapter 12. After seeing clearly the bruised and swollen woman in the room, Sam stopped speaking. Why did you come back from the hospital? Lily's eyes filled with tears. I couldn't stay there. Everyone at the hospital was saying terrible things about me. They were pointing fingers at me and talking behind my back. I really couldn't take it anymore. Sam, I truly couldn't take it. Seeing Lily like this made Sam feel distressed. Have you eaten? No, I was worried about you. Sam, I'm unfamiliar with everyone and everything here, so I could only come back and wait for you. By the way, Sam, did you find Diana? No, I don't know where she's hiding. Sam sat down irritably. Everything that had happened that day had been entirely beyond his expectations. While searching for Diana, he had constantly been unable to understand why Diana had become like this. Diana had clearly always been gentle and virtuous, putting him first in everything. Why had she become so unfamiliar after only a few days apart? She had spoken viciously to him and even hit him. Sam truly could not understand why Diana had become like this. He believed that there was absolutely nothing improper between himself and Lily. So why would Diana think that he and Lily had an inappropriate relationship? People outside were all spreading rumors that he and Lily had once been together. Speaking of which, only Lily and he knew about their relationship. He had never told a third person, so why did the people outside know? Sam frowned as he looked at the bruised and swollen Lily. Everything had begun to change after he brought Lily back. Could Lily have done something behind his back that he did not know about? The suspicion arose in his heart, but immediately afterward, Sam dismissed the thought. Lily was already so miserable. She was ill and so fragile. He should not suspect Lily. But who exactly had revealed what happened between him and Lily? Only the two of them knew that he and Lily had once had a relationship. He had not said anything, so that left only Lily. Sam looked at Lily again. Lily, have you told anyone else that you and I had a past together? Lily shook her head like a rattled drum. No, I haven't told anyone. Then how did the story spread outside? Diana spread it. She knows about what happened between you and me in the past. How is that possible? Sam did not believe that Diana could know about his past with Lily. So could Lily be deliberately framing Diana? That thought made him look at Lily suspiciously. Lily had a guilty conscience, and Sam's gaze made her uneasy. Not daring to meet Sam's eyes, she made an excuse and poured Sam a glass of water. Sam, have some water. Sam had been searching for Diana until now and was exhausted, hungry, and thirsty. He took the water and quickly drank it all. His stomach was empty, and he was desperately hungry. So Sam planned to cook himself a bowl of noodles. However, just as he stood up, he sensed that something was wrong. Everything around him began to distort. His head felt dizzy and heavy, and Lily, who stood before him with her bruised and swollen face, looked extraordinarily alluring tonight. Unable to control himself, Sam lunged forward and embraced Lily. Chapter 13. At 2 in the morning, with my eyes red and swollen, I opened the door to the marital home, accompanied by the hospital administrators and several colleagues with whom I was on good terms. The instant the door opened, strange sounds came from inside. Everyone heard them loud and clear, and their expressions changed. I took the lead, switched on the light, rushed to the master bedroom, and kicked the door open. The scene inside appeared before everyone's eyes. The people accompanying me were all dumbfounded, and I let out a scream. My scream in the middle of the night traveled far, alarming all the neighbors. One after another, they came over with clothes draped over themselves to see what was happening. Sam and Lily, who were embracing on the bed, were also awakened by the noise. Seeing a room full of people, Sam suddenly sat up. What are you doing? Then he discovered the completely naked Lily in his arms, and Sam let out an incredulous howl. With a violent shove from him, Lily fell to the floor with a thud. No, it's not what you saw. Sam tried to explain, wanting to prove his innocence, but given the situation before them, even if his entire body were covered in mouths, he would never be able to explain himself. I burst into loud sobs, while the people watching the spectacle discussed animatedly. This is outrageous. Exactly. I doubted the rumors before, but I never expected them to actually be caught in bed in front of everyone. It's immoral and disgraceful. Simply immoral and disgraceful. Sam and Lily were tightly bound and taken away. I covered my face, crying uncontrollably, while inside I was overjoyed. Sam and Lily, now it was your turn to experience the suffering I had endured in my previous life. Sam and Lily were locked up. The incident had an extremely negative impact, and the leaders assigned people to interrogate them. Sam certainly wanted to deny it, but this was not something he could deny. After all, they had been caught in bed together. Sam kept crying that he had been wronged, saying that someone had framed him. Because of this, the higher-ups even arranged for people to go back to the marital home Sam and I shared and conduct an inspection. But they found nothing. How could they possibly find anything suspicious? After all, I was the one who had set them up. Knowing that Sam and Lily would return to the marital home, and knowing that they would drink water, I had put something in the kettle beforehand. When Sam and Lily were taken away in ropes, I immediately washed the kettle and the cups. I had destroyed all the evidence. No one would find anything suspicious. Even if Sam sensed that something was wrong, he had no way to clear his name. Sam kept claiming that he had been wronged, but Lily was different from him. Lily was pushed too hard, and her fear and terror made her confess everything without holding anything back, including pretending to be ill so that she could seek out Sam and make him take care of her, including her intention to marry Sam. The outcome was easy to imagine. Illicit relations between a man and a woman were a serious crime. Sam and Lily were both sent to the countryside. Chapter 14. Sam and Lily finally got to experience the living hell I had endured in the countryside in my previous life. During the day, they were forced to work in the fields. At night, they were dragged onto a makeshift platform to undergo ideological re-education. They experienced the same things I had in my previous life, only they suffered even more than I had. After all, in my previous life, my charge had been fabricating accusations out of thin air. But in their case, the charges were well-deserved. Engaging in illicit relations between a man and a woman was an extremely serious offense. The torment Lily and Sam suffered was even worse than mine. Sam was beaten every few days, while Lily was not only beaten but also stripped naked and paraded before the public. The old bachelors in the village would pry open Lily's door at night. At first, she resisted, but later, she submitted and went along with it, becoming involved with the old bachelors. After all, The old bachelors could secretly get her a little food to fill her stomach. 6 months later, I came with a medical team to provide support and consolation, and saw Lily being paraded before the public. She was completely naked, with a sign branding her an adulteress hanging from her neck. Rotten vegetable leaves, small stones, and mud were mercilessly thrown at her body. She fell, only to be yanked back up and forced to continue, like a puppet. Then her gaze swept toward me, sitting in the vehicle. Lily's vacant eyes instantly became vicious. She charged madly toward me. It was you! It was obviously you! You were the one behind all of this. Naturally, Lily could not get anywhere near me. She had only charged forward a short distance before she was brutally dragged back. Fists and feet rained down upon her. Listening to her screams, I walked away expressionlessly. On the final day, when the support mission had ended and we were preparing to return, Sam came looking for me. He had become dark and thin. At a glance, it was obvious that he had suffered a great deal. Sam tried to approach me. Diana, I have something to say to you. What do you want to say? I looked at him with a mocking smile. His lips trembled as he struggled to explain to me. I didn't. Lily and I only had a relationship in the past. It's all over. I swear. The person I always wanted to marry was you. I only wanted to help her. She was the shameless one who framed me. He cursed Lily through gritted teeth. That woman is heartless, despicable, and shameless. She deserves a horrible death. Diana, you have to believe me. So what? Even if I believe you, what would that change? Diana, can you put in a good word for me and help me leave this place? I looked straight at him without blinking. Leave? Where do you want to go? I want to be with you. Diana, help me leave this place. I'll treat you well from now on. As soon as I leave here, we'll get married immediately. I swear I'll treat you well for the rest of my life. I burst out laughing. Do you think I would still marry you? Why don't you take a look at yourself in a mirror? Sam's lips trembled. No, didn't you love me so much? We once. Shut up. I stopped Sam's next words in disgust. Sam, don't mention the word love. It's disgusting. Diana, I was framed. Lily set me up. She's a vicious woman who will stop at nothing. I never should have. I could not help laughing. You've wrongly blamed Lily. She didn't set you up. What? Then who set me up? Who was it? The person you're looking for is right in front of you. It was you? It was actually you? Sam looked at me in disbelief. Why? Why did you do this? For revenge. Of course. Sam, you will never have the chance to go back. You will stay here for the rest of your life. Until the day you die. This is your fate. This is what you owe me. After saying this, I turned and walked away coldly, while Sam roared furiously behind me. Just you wait. Diana, you wait. I'll report you. I'll take you to court. I'll be waiting. I'm only afraid you'll never have the chance. I looked back with a smile. By the way, there's one thing I forgot to tell you. I'm getting married. The date is set for the 8th of next month. You know the groom too. Your immediate superior, Commander Alex. How is that possible? How could you and Alex possibly? Sam did not believe it. You're lying to me, aren't you? You must be lying to me. You loved me so much. I've been waiting for you to save me all this time. How can you ignore me? How can you marry someone else? I ignored Sam and simply walked toward the Jeep beside me. Sam chased after me. Diana, explain yourself. Explain this clearly to me. He wanted to grab my hand, but failed. Someone pushed him away first. Sam fell to the ground and looked at the person who had pushed him. He recognized him. This was Alex's guard, the man who always stayed inseparably by Alex's side. Now, this man was actually accompanying me, so what I had said was true. Was I really going to marry Alex? Sam collapsed onto the ground like a deflated balloon, muttering, "Why? Why exactly is this happening?" No one answered him. Sam only knew one thing. In this life, there would never be a day when he could overturn his conviction.